Hello, hello. I'm here. I made it. I made it. Not super early, but at least earlier. So that's the credit I'm going to give myself. Earlier. Earlier. But we are here, and happy birthday to GNX. All right, let's see if I can even find it. There we go. Hello, 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 everyone. We are here. Cool. All right. So, while I am waiting, I think, where should we start? Actually, I'll just start making a little list. And then as you come in, you can let me know what I should add to the list. So, we definitely need to talk today about 150, which was our vibration from last week. And I said yesterday that I would talk about it more today. And we should talk about I just want to show an example of Wale and J. Cole with their life path numbers. And because that story played out vibrationally, very much so. And then we can definitely and have to jump into GNX because it's its birthday. And so we can look at we'll look at the life path number for GNX. We can also look at the birth chart for GNX. And then we can add whatever else we want to add on here. Just let me know. Okay. So, as you come in, please make sure you hit the like button and let me know too if we need to go back to anything. All right, so let's start with our vibration of 150. So last week on our let me see which make sure we're on the Oh, okay, that's what's happening. All right. So let me get this set up real quick. I was wondering why it looked weird. So let me get this set up. There we go. There we go. Now we have everything that we need. So last week we spun our random number generator and we got 150. So 150 is our vibration that we were watching out for this week. And so 150, there's a couple of vibrations here that we should have been looking for, but then we have also we've seen come up actually quite often this week as well. So for 150, we add up these vibrations, we get 6. And so what this is telling us is to look out for any of these vibrations or themes that really have to do with bringing in a change or any change that occurs that is highlighting or opening up the space for something brand new and creating a new comfort zone or creating a space to be able to challenge comfort zones. Now, remembering that all of these vibrations are neutral, so that old comfort zone and that new comfort zone could be something that we really should not be comfortable with. It could be either or, because that neutrality means that they both sit on that same vibrational plane and they both are neutral. But we also have here this 0. So this is that God energy that is really in support of this change happening. So it's not just the change that's happening, it's this God or universal energy that's really promoting this change to happen. It's really pushing for this change. Oh, hi, Tarot Gothis. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. I was just chatting about 150, our vibration that we've had last week. So with this 0, this really is the God universal energy really enhancing this change. So it's really pushing forward for this change and trying to promote the change that's happening. So this is when we see a change, whether it's in like a person or in the narrative or the way things are being done or what's being said, and you don't really know where it came from. It it could really be, it's not all the time, but it really could be that it's this universal God energy that we don't have control over coming in and opening up that space for this change and really pushing for that change to come forward. The other thing that we have to be aware of is that we do have, and we saw this last week too, where we do have this 15 here, where this 15 really is having to choose. So it's that choice between the choice between bondage and freedom. So, with every change that you make, and in making those choices around change, you're having to decide, are you going to be in bondage to this change, or is it going to free you up? But still remembering that neither bondage nor freedom are 100% good or bad, that they both sit on a vibrational plane that is neutral, and it's just based on your perspective. So as you're making your choices, now it's, is this bondage a good thing for me or a bad thing for me? Is this freedom a good thing for me or a bad thing for me? And what we're seeing a lot more often is that we're not able to just make this choice anymore. We're really having to accept that we're having to create new pathways and new lanes to be able to really truly find what is going to be best for us in our life. So that's 150. We will roll our, or spin our random wheel here at the end. So then here is the little list that I made. If you have anything else you'd like to talk about, just let me know. Yeah, so this week we saw, let me grab this. Grab this. Boop, 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 boop. All right. This is getting funny doing this. All right. So we saw this week where Wale came out with a brand new album, which was I listened to it through myself, but then oh, I don't want that. But then also listened to it with a couple of reactors that and watched them go through and do their reaction reviews, and it was a very good album. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it, and I liked the because it was a bit of a shift. It was very much Wale and in his vibrational stream. But there was a bit of a shift in there in you could see the path that he was taking was shifting a little bit. So I won't get into the reactions. You should go and look at the reactions because they definitely, I'll give you all of those good things. But what I did want to talk about was then the other thing that happened this week with Wale is that he then was starting to have some of this narrative about um about J. Cole and his former friendship with J. Cole. Oh, hi V. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I'm glad you made it. I'll even go back and show you. You only missed a very little bit, and it was mostly me just rambling because I didn't want to sit here doing nothing. So let me go back and I can show you. So what we started with was looking at our vibration from last week, which was 150. And so I think we did see a lot of this week where we saw a lot of like these changes that were kind of opening up this space for something new. And a lot of times those new things were pretty unexpected. And so then we had to make this choice of, are we going to allow this change and this new energy that's happened to put us in bondage, or are we going to be freed by it? So that's all we've talked about so far. And I was going to talk about Wale and J. Cole, and then of course GNX, and saying happy birthday to GNX. But I do know that I think Flex went live right at the same time I did. So this might be a short one, but this absolutely opens up. If you have very specific questions, you can put those in the chat and we can talk about them. Okay, so Wale had this whole thing where everybody was calling him a crybaby. Oh, okay. Oh, you switched to your computer. Okay. Well, welcome back. No, you're not late today. And I was just saying that I think Flex went live at the same time I did, so we split the audience, which is fine because this could be a little bit shorter today, and then we could go and check out what Flex is talking about. But also, let me know if you do have questions or you have any numbers or anything that you've seen. Yes, Josh, I was just saying I was just saying that Flex went live at the exact same time. I know, I know. I made it hard for everybody because I actually got here early. Usually I'm so late that it's after Flex is live. But it's okay. This is just what it is, I guess, today. Um Okay, so let me find, because I had a page here where I wrote down, there it is. So I wanted to talk about like looking at this back and forth that was kind of happening with Wale and J. Cole, where um Wale was really talking about how his feelings were very hurt when he went and had a vulnerable moment with J. Cole talking about his child being born. And then False Prophets came out like 2 days later. And everybody was saying, oh, he's definitely talking about Wale in in the song. And so I just thought that was interesting because the vibrational movement is very interesting in this exchange. Oh, hi, cousin B. Thanks for being here. Are you split between me and Flex too? Yeah, we I think we went live at the exact same time. Okay, so what I wanted to look at were how we can use the life path numbers to be able to look at this interaction um, between these two people. Uh, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Please feel free to go back and forth. I'm going to talk about Wale and J. Cole, and then I'll shift over to GNX. So enjoy flip flopping back and forth. I'll have to watch all of Flex's live recording later. So I thought it was very interesting because while I was watching the reactors talk about this exchange and showing this interview of Wale talking about J. Cole, what I was seeing was that their Wale and J. Cole's energy was connected, like you see in any kind of exchange. So anytime you're interacting with anybody else, it vibrationally looks like some kind of relationship. Even if it's just like a stranger on the street for like 2 seconds, the exchange of energy looks the same as if you had you were in a relationship for 15 years. It's kind of interesting to think about that vibration and that energy exchange really isn't that different. Um, we make it different on our level of like how deep it feels and how much we interact with that energy, but the energetic exchange doesn't look different. It looks very much the same. But it was interesting to look at because it basically looked like they both were putting out this same energy, and I could not figure out why that was until I grabbed their birthdays and looked at their life path numbers, and that's what I wanted to share with you. So Wale's birthday is September 21st. So another Virgo. We've got lots of Virgos in this group. 84. And then J. Cole's birthday, let's see, I wrote it down here, is January 25th. And 1985. So when we're just looking at like their zodiac signs and we're just looking at their birthdays like this, it it could appear that they are very different. Um and that they would be interacting in very different ways. Yes. You're yes. Yes, me baby. You're very right. Yeah. 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 Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly, V baby. And it's so interesting because then when we do, so if we do the life path numbers where we add up the year, and then we add the month and we add the day. Wale has a life path number of 52. And then we do the same over here for J. Cole. I don't know why I have this all crammed in like this. I guess that's just what we're doing today. So if we again, we oh wait, this should be a 5. Yeah, because J. Cole's like a year younger than Wale. All right. So then if we add up the year here, plus the month and plus the day, J. Cole also has a life path number of 52. So, what this tells us is that um, this is why Wale would think that J. Cole would be someone that was a really good friend to him that he could open up to. So when you encounter people that have your same life path number, like the actual path, like the 2-digit number, not just the single digit, it's like looking in the mirror and you see all of the things that you like about yourself. So you are attracted very quickly. So it's also similar to like when we talk about the portal numbers. So if we had a portal number, any of those vibrations that are the same on either end, and they want to come together and they create a portal, that's what's happening here also. Like it's attracting each other. Like these vibrations, this energy is very much attracting each other in. And so it's this is when you would meet people that it would feel very much familiar and it would feel like you became very connected or like friends very quickly in this type of scenario. But also, and this is the part that kind of made me giggle, 52 is the numerical vibration of the English word heart. So this vibration of 52 can very much feel like that heart space. And this makes sense because both of these men, one actually does and one seemingly does act from a heart space. And so it is like they very much are going to connect and have this energetic exchange in a way that they are giving to themselves. And so, like in Wale's case, if it's wanting to open up and be his most vulnerable, authentic self, then J. Cole is actually someone that it would make sense to do that with, at least energetically. It would feel like it. But if you're in a place where you are not treating yourself well, if you're not being your most authentic self, then the vibration that you're using to connect with somebody else that also has that same vibration could be way off. So it's kind of like if you are not self-loving and you're not giving to yourself, you're not going to give to somebody that is energetically feeling like yourself. But you could also become very protective if you are hiding your true self, because somebody that has this very similar or the same vibrational patterns, um, they'll be able to see through you a lot quicker than somebody else. Okay, let me see what you're saying in the chat. Yes, yes. And that's what's happening here with this vibration. The thing that then makes them different, because we have to remember that our life path number is only one of the vibrations that we are putting out into the world and that we're using to connect back in or pull energy in. And the other one would be the name. And so if we use our little A equals 1 all the way to Z equals 26, I wrote these down already because I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on these. But Wale is 41. And J. Cole is 45. Yeah. And so then this is where we start seeing some differences. So now this is where we would see how that 52 is interacting a little bit differently between the two people. And this doesn't even count like all of their astrological charts and stuff like that. So for Wale, if we have 41 plus the 52, his large overarching vibration is 93. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a good observation with the LE. And L is 12 and E is 5. So that's interesting. So this would be 12 plus 5, which is 17. And 17 is the vibration of the star in the tarot. Yeah, that's very cool. And see, that is a really good catch. And these are the kinds of patterns that we should be looking for because there's deeper vibrational messages in there. So this could be that energy where they both are feeling like they are the star that maybe is not getting seen. It's like they're getting outshined, but they have this feeling that they definitely are the star. Yeah, that's a good one. But see, these vibrational messages, they're all over this stuff. So that can have them bumping heads as well, where they could be having this connection of like, oh, we feel this vibration of 17, um, feeling of like being a star. And we have the 7 here where our 52 does add to 7. So it's enhancing that 7 also. Yeah, that was a good one. So let's go back and look at these names. So then J. Cole is 45 plus 52. That's interesting. Okay. Which is 97. But now we can start seeing some of these differences where Wale is only encountering this 5 of change one time. Where when you have that 5 in there, it's really pushing towards needing to make a change or needing to be part of a change. He does have the 5 here where this adds up to 5, but it's not one of the dominant vibrations. Whereas over here, J. Cole has this 5 twice. Once as a second step and then once as a first step. And what we've talked about before is whenever you have these vibrations where it's the same vibration, but they're in different locations, where one is a first step and one is a second step, then there can be some conflict here because we can't get to this second step without going through the first one. So if J. Cole is not identifying where he has dualism and really getting rid of that dualism, like the back and forth and sitting on the fence, oof, we know about that. We've seen that. If he can't get rid of that, then he can't make this change. But then his name is saying that everything starts with change. So this is a very conflicting 5s here. Hi, Judy. I should have known you would come in when I was talking about 5. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, yes, and thank you for making sure everyone's hitting that like button. I appreciate that. Thank you. So that's one difference here where it's very interesting, where this can be where a lot of that conflict that we see playing out in J. Cole's life and in career is coming from. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly, V baby. Exactly. Exactly, V. You got it. So you're seeing like these are the things that we have to slow down so we can start seeing these vibrational differences, because then that tells actually the bigger story, and it tells the story from a neutral position because these vibrations are neutral. Like the vibrations don't care. They don't care. They hold all of the positive and the negative possibilities. And so this is a way to be able to see what's happening energetically. What is that energetic exchange and that energetic movement without having to choose one side or the other? Yes. Yes, Josh. Yeah, so that's one thing that's very different, is that where as over here for J. Cole, he's having this conflict between these 5s being in different positions for his big vibrations, his main vibrations. Whereas Wale is here and he's able to go through both steps in this name before he gets to this second 5. So over here, it's like the 5 is a third step. So then that's kind of aligned with this 52, where there's more that has to be done before you can get to the 5. They both seem to struggle a bit with I need a different color. With the 2 though. Where the 2 is not being wishy-washy, not going back and forth, not being on the fence. It's actually getting rid of that dualism. It's getting rid of the back and forth. It's getting rid of the sometimes this way, sometimes that way. And because this is vibrating at that word heart, a lot of this dualism is probably coming from that heart space. Yeah, this is interesting. And then when we actually add up, there we have these differences also, where they both have this 9. So they're both supposed to be, one of their steps is to end some of these cycles in the way things are being done, in the way things are being thought about. But they both have different first steps to even be able to get there. So Wale's over here needing to grow and grow in the right direction. That's all I always have to say, that you have to grow in the right direction, because with this growth, it can happen in any direction. So making sure that the growth is happening in the right direction. But if you're hanging on to the past, you can't grow forward. You can't grow into the future as well. Oh, hi, Tiptoe Joe. Thanks for being here. Okay, great. And then we have J. Cole over here, always wanting to take action, because this 7, so remember, this 52 is adding up to 7. So both of them have this feeling of wanting to take action, because the 7 is very much about taking action. But you're supposed to be taking action in flow. So in vibrational flow. So this is a difference we see here with J. Cole also, is he has both of these 7s here. So both of these 7s are really pushing for him to take action. But if he doesn't slow down and make sure that he is in vibrational flow, then he could be forcing actions or taking actions that just seem off. And we've seen that from him as well, where it seems like, oh, I need to take this action, and then you're backpedaling on it because it's like, oh, wait, that didn't feel right. Okay, does this feel right? Oh, it didn't feel right, because you're not taking the time to make sure you're in vibrational flow so that your actions happen smoothly and in line with the vibration. Yes. Okay, let me see. Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly, V baby. And that's and we're seeing it in these vibrations. We're seeing it right there. And so this is also something that you could do on your own when you are encountering people that are, it's like they're the same as me, but I don't like them, or I'm having trouble communicating with them or working with them. It may not be the same thing, but using the name and the life path number is how you can look at how that energy and that vibration is working between you and somebody else. And it'll give you some more hints from a neutral place of how to be able to better work with somebody or to not. Because that's also an option too. Yes, exactly, V baby. That this is showing exactly why um Wale was pulled in to J. Cole's space, and they both felt like it was a connection, even if it wasn't a true connection. Hi, Nara. Thanks for being here. I know you're back and forth too. It's all good. Yeah, Flex and I kind of messed everybody up today. It happens. So that's another thing that J. Cole has on this side, where we have been able to see in J. Cole's career, when he has taken action in flow, then he's been able to create and build and very easily without very much effort. But then when he's not in flow, then some of his actions seem very off. The last thing is their actual outcome. So for their life path number, they have the exact same outcome. But when we put their names and their life path together, now they have different outcomes. Where Wale is supposed to be working with this change in perspective and the growth. Ugh, that looks gross. Whatever. The growth is really, really important for Wale. And that's probably why it's hard for him to not see that growth, to not see himself getting bigger and growing in this bigger direction. Because that growth is really important. So, and helping to change the perspective with this 12. Whereas over here, J. Cole has another 7. So, taking action in flow can either be a really amazing blessing for J. Cole or a really big curse or a really big barrier. So when he's in vibrational flow, when he's moving with and this vibrational flow is not your own vibrational flow, it's the universe or God's vibrational flow of making sure that you're doing things in divine timing. And so in the right way and at the right time. So he has another 7 here, but this 7, we've seen this 16 before. This is coming from that tower, where this again is change. So he has both of these 5s, and then he's got this tower that's like demanding change happen. And so what this could look like is, if he's taking action in flow and making these changes, then these changes would look at like he's moving in the right direction, because the action and flow would be propelling him forward, and then the changes would be the change in positioning, whether in his life and in hip hop or on the charts or whatever. But if he's not in vibrational flow, now this looks like a tower moment. It looks like a tower crumbling down, where the changes that are meant to be made are not being made. And so they're being forced. So Yeah, this was interesting. When I was looking at this, I definitely wanted to bring this to you to look at today. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly, V baby. So it Wale just needs to be able to capture this growth. And really the way that he gets to that growth is by really embracing and working with the energy of both his name and his life path number. So, really figuring out how to be able to work with this energy and use this energy and this vibrations. And once he grows, it'll be very quickly. And he will definitely be able to out surpass J. Cole and a lot of other people. J. Cole has a lot that he's having to deal with in um, first. So typically, what it is you first have to balance. So you can only balance what you understand. So understanding that there's these two sides that he keeps flip flopping between, is he's flip flopping between changing and not changing, flip flopping between taking action in flow and taking action outside of flow. And he has this too here with that dualism of needing to get rid of that dualism. So it's first balancing because that's the awareness, but then it's getting to the two where you are finding like an authentic sweet spot in the middle of all of that. Of like, okay, what are the good parts of these change, that five, that I can pull in to be my most authentic self? And what are the parts of these actions that I can take that are in vibrational flow with who I'm supposed to be and my most authentic self? But yeah, he could easily get pulled and pushed all over the place um, because he is trying to balance all of this. At some point, you have to stop balancing and you have to find that authenticity center point that pulls from all of those directions that you're trying to balance out. Yeah, this was interesting. This was very interesting. Oh, and I just noticed too, J. Cole has another five here in his birth year. So he's meant to be working with change and in his birthday. He's got a five here too. And he's got the mirror image of this 52. Man, like he's supposed to be making a lot of changes. He's supposed to be really um like facing himself in the mirror and making these changes and being an example of that. I don't know if he's doing that. He's still got some time. Yes, B baby. Exactly. Exactly, B. Exactly. He's too easily pulled in all these directions because he's trying to um, balance between all of this, and that's not what it's meant for. He's meant to be making these changes so that he can stand in his most authentic self, because that's where the vibrational flow is, so he could take action very easily. Yeah, that's very interesting. So we basically, in just that little snippet of the story being told and the interview, and looking at both Wale and J. Cole's like past, we been able to pull all this out and see these vibrations and this energetic exchange actually happening in real time. So that's pretty cool. But this is something you could do with yourself and other people in your life. Is look at the interactions between your names, but also your life path numbers. Cool. Are we ready to say happy birthday to GNX and look at GNX's birth chart and stuff? Anything else we should add to this or look at this? I mean, get some water. Make sure you're not typing anything. Yeah, this was interesting. Okay. So, let's move on. I agree, Josh. Birthday time. So the first thing is this is like a really good time to talk about like what actually is happening at our birthday as far as shifting energies. So, it's on your birthday that you actually step into that year. So, today, GNX's birthday. GNX. Oh, I'm surprised I wasn't late from listening to it so many times today. So GNX was born November 22nd, 2024. And so I guess the first thing I'll say is that anything that has any kind of consciousness in it, I guess is the good way of saying it, is going to have its own birth date. So consciousness is just the weaving of vibration and energy that produces movement and other energy. So everything that's living, everything that's alive is automatically going to be a be a conscious being. But then something like GNX, where we have all of these people that have put their energy into this project, but also has connected to this project, that's what gives it consciousness. So every time we're listening and we're running through the lyrics and we're feeling the vibrations in our body and we're running through the lyrics in our mind and we're having discussions about it, we're giving GNX life. This is the same with any kinds of business or any project. So when you have a business or a project that you really want to be able to grow, this is what you think about. And you can be very intentional about when is it going to be born. And even though like GNX was a surprise to all of us, it definitely, its energy feels very intentional, where everything that was said and everything that was put together was very intentional, which is just how Kendrick does things anyway. But even the date in which it was born feels very intentional, and we'll see some of that in as we're breaking this down as well. beginnings. Thank you for being here. No, you're right on time. We just started talking about GNX. So you can, if you have a business, you can actually get the life path number um, of that business and be able to understand how the energy is moving, how you can use that energy to pull like customers in, how you could use that energy to partner with the business. Because one of the big things with like entrepreneurs is that, and I do this too as an entrepreneur, is we have a very hard time separating ourselves from the business. So by getting your business's life path number, it can give a bit of that separation. So it's just like with our lovely children. At some point, we have to let go and let them grow on their own. Same with our business. And if we don't do that, then their growth is stunted. So I don't know why all that's coming out, because that's not what we want to talk about. All right, so let's look at this life path number. So GNX was born in the year 2024. And I remembered what I was saying. I'll say it in a minute. And so this was an 8-year. And then we add the month. And we add the day. And we get 41. Oh, look, another 41. We just saw a 41. And then let's go ahead and get the name. So GNX would be 7 plus 14 plus 24. And that gives us 45. Okay. So for GNX, and this is true for all of us, you do not change into a new energetic year until your birthday. So until today, GNX was still operating out of the energy of 2024. And this is partially where it feels very intentional in doing that this way, because it was earlier in 2024 when we had all of this beef that was happening, as we know, and we've been talking about. And so then GNX coming out also and being born in 2024 is very intentional, because it's adding to that 2024 energy. It's able to grab onto that vibration and run it through. If it had come out until 2025, it would have had choppy energy flow. So with all of those songs and that vibration that was like built up through the back and forth, it was building up this energy that then GNX was able to grab onto and then continue to pull through. So this meant that also, because GNX was the main project highlighted in the GNX tour, that Kendrick was able to pull this 2024 energy all the way through. So all the way through 2025. So it's been on the same energy flow, and its energy flow is just changing today. So I think that's really interesting. And then it's really interesting to look at some of these numbers. So 41 adds up to 5. So the ultimate outcome that GNX is meant to bring to the world is change. It's meant to bring in change. And the way that it brings in change is that it draws in this new energy, which we've seen it do all year long, where it draws in this new energy that then helps to change the foundation of its space. And its space is hip hop. That's not going to fit there. Go away, go away, go away. So it's already in GNX's life path number, that it is meant to bring a change by drawing in new information or new energy, and then actually making changes to the foundation of the space that it's in. So it's changing what is considered stable, what is considered strong, what is the foundation. And some of that is what it seems like, that it's like, it's kind of like, if you've ever watched any of those shows where they're like looking at these old houses and they're like, oh, all of this stuff that they added on is horrible, but the house itself has good bones. The good bones are the foundation of things. And so it does seem like GNX has come in and it actually has stripped away some of the things that were in hip hop that have been added on, and taken us back to a more solid foundational place. It's showing us the foundation where the stability really is. Yeah. Oh, absolutely he does. And I think it would be cool. I think it would be really cool to talk to him, but I know that he has to have a astrologer and a numerologist or somebody. Yes, it is exactly how he's moving so cryptid. Absolutely. And um it's what I'm trying to bring to everybody else, because a lot of the times this information is, it's only the elite that actually have this. But we all deserve to have this and should be using it. But you can see the intentionality here. The other thing is that it has to be very intentional. And we're going to look at the birth chart too, and you'll see the intention there too. But even just the date, so November is the 11th, but 22 is 11/11. So 22 is considered the 11/11 vibration. And look at all of that new energy that's coming in, just even on the date that it's being selected. So all of this new energy coming in. And then there's more intention here in even just the name. So going with GNX to get 45. So instead of like having it written all out, but actually just having it GNX, now we're getting this 45, and we've already seen that this year of 2025 is this 9 energy. So GNX is meant to be contributing to the ending of things the way that they were, and contributing to this big shift that we're seeing. Like, it's vibrationally there. Also, because again, where we have the 5 here, now this vibration starts with 5. Where here again is this bringing change, and this change impacting the foundation of things. Like, this is really vibrationally what GNX is meant to do. It was created to bring a change that changes the foundations of things so that everything can shift into a new place. And we take 2025, there's been a lot of times that it vibrates like 20 plus 25, which is 45. Oh, exactly, V. Exactly. It's very clear that he is in. And when so I love that he's been in concert. I unfortunately haven't been able to see him live, but I like watching the live performances because I can actually see, and maybe we could do that sometime. We could watch a live performance together, and I could show you what I'm seeing, because I can actually see the energy coming from God, like coming from the universe into the top of his head and then shooting outward. It's like he's a catalyst, an amplifier. It's very, very interesting. Hey, Rusty, thanks for being here. Welcome in. Yes, yes. So, yes, V baby. So, when we live in this earth plane that operates on nines. And so, once you get to 9, that is the end, the completion. And you start over with the 1. And we have here where we have both the 1 and the 9 here together in this vibration. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So then let's add these together. So if we do the name vibration of 45 plus the life path number of 41, now we're getting 86. And 86, so the two of these vibrations together are really an 86, where this 6 in this first position, this is challenging comfort zones. This is making people uncomfortable. Because it's in this first position, it's asking, why are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with that? And you're going to have to declare if you are or not. Like, this is very much what this project has been doing and will continue to do. And it's what it's meant to do vibrationally. It's meant to come in and challenge these comfort zones. And by challenging these comfort zones, now it's also challenging, but also creating new cycles, because that's the 8. Because remember, the 8 is like the karma. So it's bringing out the karma of these comfort zones, these places that people have been comfortable and are now creating new cycles, new energy to be rotated around and brought back around. Yes. Yes. Yep. You got it. That's great, V. I'm so glad. That's a good thing. So, this 86, this vibrations together, it's disrupting these comfort zones, and it's bringing back this energy, cycling energy, like this karmic reap what you sow energy. It's bringing this energy back. That's a really good lyric. That's a really good point, Josh. I just saw that. Yes. Oh, yes. Because once you hit 9, you get to 10, and that's a 1, but it's with God energy. So now it's the 1 being supported and enhanced by God. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, hi, Chico. No worries. Glad you made it. Thanks for being here. We were looking at the vibrations of GNX. So, let's look at what we've got so far, since we've had a couple of people come in. So today is GNX, the GNX album's birthday. And so this is the day that it is shifting into 2025 energy. So up until this point, it's been riding this wave of 2024 energy. So by having GNX come out in 2024 and then announcing the GNX tour also in 2024. So the announcement for the tour came in December 2024. What Kendrick did was he harnessed all of that 2024 energy and pulled it into 2025 all the way to the end of the year, because you don't switch out of energy until you get to your birthday. Hi, LTFM. Thanks for being here. Oh no, I'm glad you made it. We just started, like, not just started, but we're on just the first part of looking at GNX. All right, I'm gonna get some water. V and Josh, you could maybe fill people in. I'm gonna get some water, and then I'm gonna start from the beginning so everybody gets this. Yeah, see, V, this is what happens when you're one of the early ones. You get to get everybody's late slip. Oh yes, high quality H2O. Okay, so we're looking at GNX. And we see that GNX, just its album name, resonates at 45. And its life path number is 41. And so we have a lot of fives here where it's meant to make a lot of change. But I do think the coolest thing that was done was that this album came out right at the beginning, or right at the end of 2024. And then the tour being announced right at the end of 2024 in December. It did pull all of that 2024 energy. So GNX has been in 2024 energy this whole year up until today. So today is its first day shifting into 2025 energy. But we already have these fives and these nines built in for 2025. So we saw that its life path number is 41, which is getting us to a 5 of making changes. So it's vibrationally meant to come into this world, draw in new energy, change the foundation, or get us back to a base foundation so a larger change can happen. That's actually its life path. That's what it's meant to do. And then with its name, it again has a 5 here in 45, where it's meant to bring in changes that again are changing the foundation of things or getting us back to a foundational place. And it's supporting this shift that is happening with this 9. This is like really cool. It's very intentional. So then we were just looking at, if we look at these two vibrations together, so 45 plus the 41 gets you 86. And so 86 is letting us know that this GNX album was meant to come in and disrupt comfort zones and change the cycles of things, change how things were going around, and being able to repeat what is the energy that's coming back around. What energy is coming back around? Also, this 86 is the numerical vibration of a storm. So the phrase "a storm" in English resonates at 86. And so this vibration is meant to come in and bring sweeping changes. This is not a little storm. This storm is coming in and it's disrupting comfort zones. It's asking, are you comfortable with this? And why are you comfortable with this? Oh, answered you. And it's asking, like, are you comfortable with this or are you not? And we need to make some changes here because all of the energy that's coming back around after this storm passes through needs to be very different. And that's the 8. We then get to that 86. When we add this up, gets us to a 14. Which gets us to another 5. So all of these major vibrations together, it's meant to bring change. It's meant to bring in big time change. And the change that it's meant to bring in is around the foundations of things. So the foundations of things, we keep seeing this 4. So it's changing the foundations. Even if those changing foundations is sweeping away what was on top of the good bones of the vibration, of the foundation that was already there. And I think this is also why you can kind of see it happening, where once GNX came out, it came in like a storm and started sweeping away some of the debris and the stuff that was built up in the hip hop space on top of the foundation of who hip hop is. And what popped out were all of these artists. So clips came back out, and like all of these artists that we haven't seen in years. We saw like Wu-Tang Clan was touring. Like there was all these people were all of a sudden bringing out their albums, and their musics were coming back. We saw like Ice Cube bring out more music. Like, what in the world is happening? This is what was happening. GNX came in and swept away what was blocking the foundation of things. And the timing of it is very interesting, because we're moving into where the legacy of hip hop is beginning to be built. Exactly, Josh. We just had De La Soul drop again. Hi, Slay Queen. Hi, sis. Hi. I'm glad you made it. Thanks for being here. Well, what I do, so Rusty, actually I listen to whatever God tells me to do. And I have not been directed to have a moderator. So I don't. When I am, we'll see if you're on that list. Yes, exactly, Chico. Like it was this like huge kind of storm. And then we came into 2025, and if you look at even just the weather and like the earthquake and the volcanic activity on Earth in 2025, it's been one of the most active years ever. So like when we're saying that GNX is a storm that's coming in, this was a huge vibrational storm that was coming in to assist in everything, the earth and all of us, to be able to ascend and to shift up this vibration and to shift. And so we could see it very clearly here in the hip hop space here with GNX. It's very, very cool to see. Yeah, keep trying that, Rusty. It might work. You never know. I be getting interesting messages all the time. So these are the main vibrations for GNX, which is very cool. Um, would you like to see? So we'll look at both, but let me know what you want to see first. Do you want to see first the vibrational connections between GNX and Kendrick Lamar? Or do you want to see first GNX's astrological chart, like its birth chart? We're going to look at both, but which one would you want to look at first? Let me know. Where should we go first? We can look at the relationship between GNX and Kendrick Lamar's vibrations, um, or we can look at birth chart. Here you go. You made me laugh with water in my mouth. That was almost dangerous. But this is where, like we talked about yesterday, where all of these vibrations are neutral and you experience them different based on your perspective. So the vibration of GNX and 2024 and everything that happened in 2024 doesn't change. It's neutral. But it's based on your perspective. Where are you positioned and how are you looking at it as to how you're interacting with this vibration? Because it could be like, it's like if we're all in this super dark room and the GNX album is when the lights got turned on. For some of us, it's great. It's like, yes, we can finally see. Now we know which way we're going. Now we know where we're doing. We can figure it out. And for others, it's like, why are you standing over there in the corner with your pants down? We all see you now. So that's definitely what like that neutral vibration does. Yes. Yeah, he turned his TV off and that was the only light we had. Just kidding. But what happens when you turn the TV off? You have to pay attention in a different direction. And who knows what was playing on that TV? I don't want to know. You all can talk about that. I don't talk about that. Oh, goodness. Okay, did we decide? Are we looking at. All right, let me catch up in the chat real quick. Oh, goodness. What do you mean, Chico, about. So, explain more to me about dark vibration and your question, and I'll get it answered. All right, so I am. Let's go ahead and look at um, the vibrational connection between Kendrick Lamar and this GNX album. So, when you have a business or a project or um, really anything like that you're trying to give life to and you're trying to grow and put out into the world, you should give it its own birthday, its own life path number, so that you can have a relationship, an energetic exchange with it, but it's not so attached to you that it's draining you. And so for our businesses, including our channels, we should be looking at the life path number of that business or of that channel and working with the vibrations that work with that business, not necessarily just with us, because we don't want the business to be needing to use our energy to be able to grow. We want it to be able to have its own set of energy so that it can grow on its own. And so that's why we look at Kendrick Lamar and GNX as two separate vibrational entities. Okay, let me see. Mm, so, not necessarily, Chico. So when so you think about, so any word is just a pure vibration. So like the word dark would just be a pure vibration just in the letters that it has. Um and so we can actually look at that. Let's look at it real quick. Hey, move. So if we look at the word dark, so what we do is we use our little English code where A equals 1 all the way to Z equaling 26. And so then the word dark holds the vibrations of 4, 1, 18, and 11. And so all of these vibrations are very neutral. So it's very, all of them are very neutral. And when we add these together, we get 34. And so this word is just vibrating at this 34 vibration. It's not until you attach your definition to it that it can change how that vibration is perceived. Because, so if you think about, like, turn his TV off, we could come at it from multiple ways, where turning the TV off can, yes, it could give one definition of dark, where it's making it like turning the lights off. It's making it dark because the TV is going off. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for being here. And so then that dark can be interpreted as like a negative thing from that perspective. So if the TV was being used as a distraction so that nobody could actually see what you were doing, and it got turned off, now that's a bad thing for you, because now everybody can see what you're doing. The distraction is gone. But if you were being taken over by that distraction, the TV was now distracting you so much so that you weren't able to think on your own, you weren't able to see, you didn't have clarity. Now that being turned off and that vibration of dark could be a very good thing. Hope that answered your question. So we have to remember that all of these vibrations are neutral, and so it's all based on our perspective. So even having Kendrick, from his perspective, creating the art and creating the lyrics and delivering the lyrics, it's still going to be perceived different by different people. That's what's so cool about the vibration. Because Kendrick can deliver it and have, 4, 5, 6 entendres in his lyrics, and have all those double meanings, but then you get even more meanings in the vibrations of the words he's actually choosing to use. I love it. It's very cool. Okay, good. All right. So let's look at, so we're going to take these two numbers and we're going to look at the relationship between Kendrick Lamar and GNX. So GNX has its name is 45. That's the vibration of its name. And then it has its life path number is 41. And then blue and green are just wanting to work today. Then we have Kendrick Lamar. And his name we've looked at before. Its vibration is 120. And his life path number is 48. So what we can look at is we can look at the interactions between these vibrations. So this is the relationship that Kendrick Lamar has with this project. And by keeping them separate, GNX is able to have its own energy source, its own vibrational source, that is separate from Kendrick Lamar. So Kendrick Lamar is able to amplify and deliver the messages and amplify the vibrations and the energy of GNX, but he's not being sucked from it. And you can look at some of the difference. So you see some of the artists that and I do see this very much with Kendrick Lamar, that all of his albums he's separated from them, where they're his art, but they have their own vibration, they have their own vibrational source. Whereas if an artist this is true for our businesses too, so even if an entrepreneur doesn't have their business vibration separate from their own, now that business or this project is just continuously sucking from them. This is what happens like when you see artists that they're known by the album instead of the album being known by from them. So instead of it being this is their album, it's the album kind of rules over them. And so their energy is overtaken by the album because it's sucking the energy from them. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's very different in how there is a separation. So for Kendrick, there is a definite separation between each of his albums and himself. Yes. Yes, exactly, Nikki. Exactly, exactly. Where the art is able to be his art, but it's not him. And that's a hard separation to make. And the thing that I can uh like use as a example for more of us is like um our businesses or any of our projects or even our children, that when we don't separate our energy or our vibration from any of those, then it can become very overwhelming. Oh, yeah, myself included, Nikki. It's very hard for like something like a business where it's like that's what you're putting your energy in to mold it and grow it. But at some point it has to be a separation. Yes. Yes. So that means that now Kendrick Lamar and this GNX album have a unique relationship. They have a unique intertwining of vibrations. And so let's take a look at it. And so this is also what you can do with I agree. I agree with all of you, V and Slay Queen and Nikki. That yes, Chico should be teaching a class, helping some of our brothers out. So let's look at how these are working together. And you can do this with your own businesses, but also in relationship with other people as well. So let's just look at the life path numbers first. Yes, Kendrick does need to teach a class as well. Well, he already has the book, How to Be More Like Kendrick Lamar for Dummies. People just aren't reading it. Yeah, you're right, Nikki. He definitely should teach a class on how to make that separation. But it kind of fit well with the rest of the conversation. Yeah, you're right, LTFM. It is a university course, but they're focusing on the actual lyrics. I think it would be interesting, to Nikki's point, to be able to actually look at teaching a class on how to have your art be a separate vibrational entity from you. So then it's able to grow and move and have its own energy sources. Because that's why so much of Kendrick Lamar's art feels so different, because it's not relying on him to feed the energy in there. Yes, V. Yes. Yes, exactly. Where it is like, okay, this is his first baby. Here's this first little art baby, and then here's the next art baby, and they're all very different, and they're meant to be vibrationally and artistically. So let's look. So if we do life paths, so 41 plus 48, of course, we get 89. So for this GNX project specifically, when Kendrick Lamar is working with this album from this life path space, so contributing vibration into the larger world. What? Nobody trying to kick you out of class. Oh, so what it's doing is it really is, so both of their energy together is trying to bring an end to the way that things are done, to the way that things are seen, to the way things are vibrating, where it's starting with this 9. This is very much highly contributing to the shift that we are seeing in that hip hop space. Like, this is really probably a catalyst to it. Never that, Tiptoe. Never that. So very much trying to bring on this end, this shifting of like, come on now, we got to end the way things are happening and shift into this new space. It's time to make this shift. And with that end and with that shift, now we're getting a new set of energy that's cycling through. So we've seen all year long where we're in a 9 year, but we've seen all of this like karma, this reap what you sow. Like Nikki says, the reciprocity energy coming back around and people having to face it. It's because that's getting cleared out. And GNX is adding to that. So GNX and Kendrick Lamar together are adding to that ending of these cycling energies that have been happening. Always this energy coming back around of doing things the same way or seeing things the same way. And moving and shifting into a new set of cycling energy. Now cycling this new energy is coming around. The other thing that's interesting is this 89 is the numerical vibration of the word unity. So while it's trying to end, these vibrations together are trying to end this old energy, this old cycles, this old way of doing things. It's also trying to bring us to a place of unity. So it's trying to bring the hip hop space into a new identity of unity. So that's really cool to be able to see that playing out. And then we add the 8 and the 9 together, we get 17, which we've already seen, not for GNX, but I think it was in our Wale J. Cole discussion. But this 17 is the vibration. So in tarot, the 17 is the star card. It's like the shining bright star. And we've had these discussions about Kendrick Lamar being a north star, a guiding light, a bright star, like Nas said, but also this GNX album being a bright star and having a spotlight on it. And even if it's just through all of the activities that have happened since GNX has come out and all of the different places that it has been displayed, it's been a shining star in this hip hop world. This shining star starts with these actions that are in vibrational flow. So it's really with Kendrick Lamar's energy with GNX, where he's been able to find this vibrational pocket where it's one thing after another that's just flowing so effortlessly in using this vibration, using all of this energy from 2024 to propel himself and the project, and even a lot of what's shifting in hip hop forward. So it's taking this action and flow. Ooh, something's coming in. My throat always does that when there's big message coming in. Something that needs to be said. So it's taking this action and flow that allows this new energy, this new way of doing things, this new way of thinking about things to be able to come into the space. And by that coming into the space, now here we have the 8 again, where it's giving us brand new cycling energy to be able to work with. So it's like GNX and Kendrick Lamar are pumping so much energy into this hip hop space that soon what's going to be cycling back is all of this energy. That's what's going to be coming back. That's what's going to be bringing the hip hop its next set of things that have to be faced, but also harvested. Okay, so let me look. Let me see. Let me catch up in chat. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, cool. Oh my gosh. I keep knocking stuff with this big old water bottle. Anxious or excited? Because they feel the same in our body, Nikki. It'll be interesting. Um, but what I do think is that that anything that comes out after this GNX project, like today really is the day that is drawing the line of like what can come next, because this GNX album came out in 2024. So it was birthed in that 2024 energy. And so it's been carrying that 2024 energy through this whole year. And today is when it now steps into the 2025 energy. So it will be interesting. We'll look at this birth chart a little bit more too, because there's some interesting things that are happening that really could give us some clues about what could come next after this. Oh, it's absolutely going to be something totally different. Yes, it's absolutely going to be something different because we've seen the progression of it, and every project is different. But every single project that Kendrick is bringing about, whether it's an album or a video, or even all of his work that he is doing with different groups and organizations and working with other artists, and within PG Lang and with Project 3, all of them have a very unique vibrational stamp. So there's definitely something coming, and it's definitely going to be different. But I think it's also exciting because of where we've gone, and we've seen this journey unfold. Okay, let's look at the names. And actually, Okay. I'm hearing to combine them all together. So first, we'll have Kendrick Lamar, where he has his life path number of 48 plus his name, which is 120. So this is Kendrick. And then we're going to add this to the life path number of GNX, which is 41, plus its name vibration, which is 45. So then this is GNX. All right, let's see what we get here. All right, let's see. 48 plus 120 plus 41 plus 45. Okay. So we get 254. Thanks. And 254 made me giggle for a couple of reasons. One, because this adds up to 11, which takes us to a 2. And this story, like this vibrational story of 11 to 2, is extremely loud right now. Extremely loud right now. Not just in the hip hop space, but actually all throughout our galaxy, our solar system, the earth, like for everybody. And it's because we're supposed to be really getting away from having these two separate sides and like balancing between the two sides and actually bringing the parts that work together so we can step into our most authentic self. So Kendrick Lamar and this GNX project's vibrations together are helping to contribute to this stepping into an authentic place that is not broken up by dualism, which is what hip hop needs as it goes through this shift, especially because it's supposed to be shifting into wisdom. And we have seen above that just their life path numbers together are bringing a unity. So this is like that unity again. And again, we are seeing where it's meant to shake up these foundations with this 4 here in this position. This means that it is challenging the foundations of hip hop, of the space that it's in. It's challenging those foundations and really asking, what are we standing on? Are we standing on solid ground or are we standing on sand? Where are the gaps in what we're doing? And how can we fill those gaps so that we have a stronger foundation? Oh, thank you, Slate Queen. Yes, please hit the like. So this is like its first step. Like this is a major thing that it is bringing into this space. Is this shaking up of foundation? So like Chico was saying earlier about the storm that is coming in of GNX is like that earthquake where it's shaking. It's such a big storm. It's shaking up the foundation of things. And with the shaking up of these foundations and shoring up the foundations that we want to keep, Now it's feeding energy into this change. And this change is getting us to a place where we're closer to removing dualism. And what I'm seeing is not just in the hip hop space, so this duality, but not just in the hip hop space, but in many, many spaces, this ending duality is like, it's this vibrational message is about stepping into your most authentic self and being your most authentic self in all spaces. So out in the open, behind closed doors, at home, at work, every space and in every relationship or interaction that you're in, you're your most authentic self. And we've talked about this the last couple days, but even really the last few months, where it's not that we were doing anything wrong by being different in these different places, because that was necessary for our survival, but also for our growth. But now, no more. We're done with that. So it's finding that most authentic self, and then that's what you're stepping into. And looking at the journey of Kendrick Lamar as an individual through his art form, GNX really is the presentation of his most authentic self. Because you get to your most authentic self when you are able to shed all of the trauma and the reasoning for being outside of your most authentic self. I love it. Celebrate extra for me. I love it. So let's see. Yes, V. Yes. Yes. It's making sure that your reflection is it's separate, but it's authentic either way. Because that's what we're seeing, is that you have to be your most authentic self to actually produce something authentic. So no more of this, like, you're an artist like this, but then at home you're acting like this. No more. No more. Done. We're done with that. Yes, Nikki. Yes. Exactly. That deeper look into LA and into the West Coast. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So this is amazing to be able to see that, like, we have this model of what it looks like to step into your most authentic self and to be able to give that to the world, separate from yourself but a part of yourself. So then it's really exciting to think about what's coming next, because we know, we've talked about it before, but I'll draw it again, that hip hop is definitely shifting. Everybody keeps talking about it shifting and feels it shifting. But in the vibrational space, the way we look at it is with this divine triangle, where the triangle is, even if it looks crappy and weird, sorry, is like the core of who you are. And then you go through these different stages in life So from the time you are just born until you are 27, you're in this youth phase where you're building up your identity. And so hip hop moved out of this. It was 27 in 2000, the year 2000. So you can think about what that looks like and how you saw that shift and that change. Because what it shifts into then, so from 27 until the age 54, you are in the power square where you're using what you've learned about your identity and the identity that you've built to build up power. But this is also where your identity is tested. So hip hop since 2000 has been in this power square where it has had its identity tested. All of these different tests of identity. And we've seen some of that through the artists that are actually within the hip hop space and are presenting their artwork to us. We've also seen it within like even the fan space of testing that identity of who are you and what do you represent and who are you really comfortable in identifying with. And we've seen it through hip hop as a whole, where these ideas of who hip hop is has been challenged and tested throughout this time. But what we're coming up on, what hip hop is coming up on, is this 54 mark. Hip hop will turn 54 in 2027. And once you pass this 54 mark, now you're moving into this square of wisdom. And in wisdom is where your most authentic identity is now beginning to share its wisdom so that you can build legacy. So you're building legacy off of your most authentic identity. And so what GNX has done, and so let's see. GNX came out right about here in 2024. So what GNX has done is it has displayed one of these ultimate tests to hip hop and to the artists within hip hop of like, who are you? Identify yourself. Show me your most authentic self, because hip hop is preparing to go into wisdom. What is the wisdom that you will be able to share based on your most authentic identity? Your most authentic expression of your identity. So that's very impactful that this is happening, because now this means that GNX was born in 2024, but it is contributing all of these years up to this point. This is how it's contributing and helping with this shift, with this ending, and with this change. Okay, let me see. Yes. Okay, V. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. It does. It very much does play a big part in our frequency and vibrations. Yeah, she's absolutely right. So there's a lot of times where you use bells or chimes. You see it a lot within the spiritual space where you use the bells or the chimes or the vibrations to be able to clear the energy or to draw in the energy. Love that. Love it. Okay. Man, we've gotten so much, but I do think we can look at before we look at the birth chart, I think I'm going to show you I'm going to show you something I haven't showed you before. So, since we're on this divine triangle, so in numerology, we use this divine triangle, and it actually has a lot more calculations to it where it can identify key years. So it'll show you where the vibration is peaking. So let me show you what I mean. So I have this little spreadsheet because I'm a nerd and I just do it for fun, where I map out this the vibrations through life path number and this divine triangle. And so here's what it looks like. This is what it comes out and it looks like. Yes, I love the vibration of wisdom. So this is actually for GNX. So this is the vibrational chart and the annual chart. And so you can get these charts for by month and then also by the day. So typically what you would do is you would do the whole divine triangle to get the whole life path of a vibration. And then you could pick key years to be able to look at the whole, like look at the months. And then you could pick key months to look at all of the days, is typically how you do it. So what's interesting so this is for GNX, and here's when it was born in 2024. And it actually has its first big peak in vibration here at 52, and this is 2025, which it's just starting its 2025 vibration. So that means from the time it's been born, it's been building in this vibration to get to this 52. Now, I think it was V and Josh that were here for, I didn't even think about this, but just noticed that we talked about both Wale and J. Cole having life path numbers of 52. So 52 is the numerical vibration of the word heart. So with this new project, maybe we'll get a whole heart project. Heart part 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, please. Because that's the vibration that GNX is actually building up to. So it's been riding this wave of all of this energy here. Now, when it comes back down, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's no longer like high vibrational or anything like that. This is just identifying really important points, really important years in its life path. So these are like turning points. So that's interesting in that GNX hasn't even reached its turning point yet. Its turning point will begin to come in 2025. And so we have the Grammys coming in 2025. We have who knows what else coming in 2025. But whatever it we have more like what else? So this is 2025 energy for GNX, which it just stepped into with its birthday today. So it's actually the year 2026 that will see it happening. But it'll play out in 2026, but this is really GNX's 2025 energy. So this is very interesting. So I wanted to just be able to show you this and to be able to see that with these numeric calculations, you can actually, this is how you can start getting predictions. This is how you can be able to start predicting what will be some of the key important years that are happening. So this goes all the way up to 2040. So based on this, 2032 will have a similar vibrational year for GNX as 2025. So then I also pulled, let me see. What else did I pull? Oh yeah, here, we can look at this too. Where I also pulled where you can look at these life path vibrations with other life path vibrations. So this will be the last one we look at, and then we'll look at the birth chart. So I also pulled so this is the vibrations, the life path vibrations of GNX and hip hop. And so we can see that GNX, it's here where it started here, 2024. It's building up its energy to prepare for this big event that happens in 2025. Hip hop actually had a big event, which we all know about, in 2024. So it had this big, huge event here at 39, whereas a huge vibrational event that was really bringing in an ending and growth to that vibrational space. Then when we get to 2026, we can see that GNX is having a baseline moment where, again, this doesn't mean that nothing's happening. It's just not like a huge pivotal something that's happening. But in 2026, hip hop will have another pretty big vibrational event that'll occur in 2026. And this vibrational event is coming out as 50. So it has this God energy. So it is something that'll happen that's divine. It's straight from God, and it's a change. It's a big change that's coming in, that's made, it's from God. Then what's interesting also is then when we get to this transition point. So 2027 is when hip hop is transitioning from power into wisdom. And we see here that both GNX project and hip hop are at this base kind of place where it's probably going to be so much energy just coming into the space that it's all going to feel very different. So it's not coming up as like a high vibrational time, but then just the year after in 2028, now we see two peaks again. And so you can look at this for people's life paths, different people interacting. You can look at it for, let me see if I have, I know I said that was the last one I was going to show, but I geek out over these. So you just tell me if it's boring. But I love this. I love looking at these. These are what I tend to look at. To look for the vibrational patterns of what's happening within different spaces. Ah, yeah. So one of the things we can do, Josh, is we can actually look at different albums and look at how they've been contributing to the hip hop space vibrationally in this way. Mm-hmm. We could absolutely do that. Or like your idea of looking at hip hop and industry, we could have like industry having its own life path and seeing how those vibrations are interacting year over year. Like this is an example of what else we could do with this. Okay, okay. I'm gonna stop geeking out soon, I promise. This is what I be doing over here by myself. But like this one, this has this graph has GNX. So it has GNX, hip hop. It has so AAN is like African American culture. So the green are like African American people, so black people as a group. They're called a nation when it's a group of people. So the African American nation, and the U.S. is in orange. Oh, thanks, Chico. So here we can see like where we can look at these overlaps between all of these different vibrations of what's happening at any one time. So, like right now, all of these entities, yeah, because GNX is having its birthday today. Everybody here is in this 2025 energy. And we could see it's GNX and the US that are having vibrational peaks. They're having a peak vibrational moment here in 2025. So in the coming year, because they're operating in 2025 energy from their birthday on, so into 2026. We should be looking at GNX having some peak vibrational energy happening, and the United States. And then you could see it shifts once we get to 2026. So when we get to 2026, it's now this African American nation that is going to have a big peak here. So 2026 is when we could see this God energy ushering in some kind of ending for the African American nation. at the same time that hip hop is having this 50. So we see both of these here have that God energy opening up that space. And interestingly, all right, I'm not gonna, I'm geeking out so bad. But then the United States is here at a 4, but 4 is actually in tarot, it's the Emperor card. So it's like a change and a shift and a solidification of like the energy and the vibrations. So this is some of the stuff we could go way deeper into the numerology. Yes. Yes, Josh. Yes, it was, yeah, that was a lot. But we have enough there that we could start digging into it. If that's something you'd like to see. All right. Let's look at the GNX birth chart and then get our vibration for this week. And then I can go get something to eat. I get, man, after I'm sitting here and like channeling all of this energy and working with all of these vibrations, I'd be so hungry. I'd be so starving after these lives. Like, not a bad way, just starving. So, um, for this birth chart, the information that I put in for GNX is I gave it so when you do your astrology chart, then you have to have both the location and a time. So I gave GNX its birthday of November 22nd, 2024. I used the time of 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And since it's in Pacific Standard Time and it's uh, Kendrick Lamar, and because of who it's really presenting and representing, I used its birth location as LA. Just LA proper. So that's where this chart would come from. If any of these were changed, it would be a little bit different. You would see things a little bit different. Oh, I'm so glad, V. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're full, Chico. Maybe I'll try and channel some of that fullness. So, any of these changes, if we change any of these things, oh, that's not what we wanted. Let me get the other chart. If we change any of these things, then it'll just have slight changes to the actual astrological chart. So, let me paste this up here. This is the right thing. There we go. Now it's the right one. So I'm going to move this up, maybe, so I could give us some more space. Make this bigger, because I don't know about you, but I cannot see that well. But look at all of this energy. Woo! Woo! Like, you look at birth charts and you don't regularly see all of these lines. So every single one of these lines is a vibrational interaction between planets that's on this chart. There, like, there's not one planet on this chart that is not interacting with something else. So this comes back to where I was saying that GNX coming out on November 22nd, 2024 has a lot of intentionality in it. It feels very, very intentional. And here's where we can see a lot of this intention again. So one of the things, so let's first look at the big three placements. We know. But the big three placements are going to be the sun. And the sun here is on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius. It's more, it's just past the Sagittarius line. So the way that the GNX mind works, or how it gets our mind to work, is as a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the teacher, the philosopher. So this is like bringing forth this energy of the philosopher, getting you to think, getting you to learn, because it's also the teacher. And then because it is right here on the cusp of Scorpio, where Scorpio is the deep emotion, and because it's right here, it's able to pull from the deep emotion into this space of being the philosopher. So it's able to use the deep emotion to build up this philosophy and to teach this philosophy that it has to bring to the world. So talking about like stimulating the mind, like right in here, just with the sun placement, this is stimulating the mind. Very much so. So then the next one is the moon. And this is also where it's like, whether it's intention of the people, including Kendrick Lamar, that put out this album and chose when its birthday was going to be, or it's the intention of the universe or God, or both. This is another place where it's very intentional, because now you have the moon, you have the heart energy, the way that it hits you in the heart, and the way that it connects with the heart of the world, also being on a cusp here. It's also right here on the cusp of Virgo and Leo. And I do believe that this is exactly on the cusp. It's slightly over the line where it's would be considered Virgo, which is Virgo is very analytical. So this, it's like the emotions are strategic. So it's analytical, it's strategic in how it is hitting your emotions. It also is striving for perfection in how its emotional state is bringing or is coming out into the world. But then because it's sitting right here on the cusp with Leo, Leo is the vibration of the sun. Leo is the bright star. Leo is the spotlight. So it's using the spotlight, it's using this Leo spotlight vibration and energy to bring this strategic perfection of emotion to the world. While the sun is over here using the deep emotion to bring the lessons and the philosophy here. Like how these are working together, it can't be anything but intentional. It's crazy. Like you don't see this. And then our third positioning is the rising here, or the ascendant. And this also is coming very close to this cusp, but it is in Cancer. So it's the nurturer. And Cancer is the sign that resonates with the moon. It's the nurturer. And so, and remember what we were looking at, I think we just looked at that yesterday, but we've looked at it before also, where the ascendant is like the bridge that helps the sun and the moon to work together. So this nurturer, I think I'm supposed to have another nurture. Oh man, my spelling is horrible. I think it's supposed to be nurturer. There you go. So we have this nurturer that is really supporting this movement of emotion, where the sun is using the deep emotion being right here on the cusp of Scorpio to bring these philosophies and these teachings that are meant to come out into the world. And the moon in this heart space is using the spotlight to bring a strategic usage of the emotion, to bring us to like a perfect or near perfect expression of the emotion. And then the ascendant is nurturing all of that. Like this is like lightning striking with this working this way. And so this has to be intentional in some way. There's other parts of this that are also doing this as well, adding to this the intentionality and like the vibration of this. So also we have Chiron up here in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer. It expresses the wounds and the lessons that we're supposed to learn from our wounds. And this Chiron, the GNX Chiron, is conjunct with the Chiron of hip hop. So GNX is opening the wounds and using the wounds and the lessons of hip hop to express these emotions into these spaces. Like, whoa, deep. And there's more. And there's more. I'm gonna get some water, but there's more. Yeah, you are, V. Aries, and the interesting thing is Aries is all about identity. Aries is represented by the I am, the identity. And so having Chiron in Aries means that the wounds of hip hop are in the space of identity. And so GNX is opening and using those identity wounds to bring this healing. It's bringing healing with these other three placements. Oh, I love it. Hi, Mom. Hi, sister. I'm glad you're liking it. Like, this is like crazy to look at this chart. Um and like I pulled this chart, but I always try not to look at it, even though it's very hard. Try not to look at it until we're together. So I'm just seeing a lot of these things myself as well. Um but wait, there's more. And so then the next thing is we have Pluto here, which is our slowest moving planet. Little dwarf planet. Oh, little Pluto. has is right here on the cusp as well. And Pluto is all about transformation. It's the energy and the vibration of transformation. Big, huge changes that you cannot come back from. So, change is just making steps in a different direction, but you can go back. You can change it. But transformation is like going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. We know who loves that imagery. You cannot go back. You cannot go back. So you can't go from a butterfly back to a caterpillar. So Pluto is this transformation, this huge transformation. And this is when Pluto first moved into Aquarius. And I think we talked about this yesterday, where Pluto moves extremely slow. So Pluto was in Capricorn since 2008. So GNX came out like 2 days after Pluto just moved into Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of we the people. It's also the sign of rebellion. And it's the sign of unexpected change. So we have this planet, unexpected. Okay, let me write instead of talk. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. So we have this planet of transformation moving into this space of rebellion. The last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was in 1777. And that was when we had the American Revolution. So the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was when there was the American Revolution, and it was the end of the American Revolution happened when Pluto was in Aquarius. Yeah. But there's more. So much more. Oh my gosh. Okay. But with Pluto sitting here on the cusp, just like we saw with the moon and the sun, it's able to get energy from this Capricorn space. And the US had its Pluto in Capricorn. So the US Pluto, when the US was born on the first Independence Day, when most of us were not independent, we can get into that discussion another day. Pluto was in Capricorn. So now with Pluto in Aquarius, it means that this Pluto is able to grab energy from the transformation of structures. That's Capricorn. So Pluto just came through Capricorn, since it was there from 2008 until, in this chart, this right here, it would have been 2024. So all of these structural changes, changes to the foundations, changes to the systems, changes to the structures, changes to the way things are done, is happening in this Pluto and Capricorn space. And now this Pluto of GNX is able to pull from that energy and bring it over here and use this energy towards rebellion. And what's more rebellion than not being like us? Revolutionary. So GNX has ushered in this revolutionary vibration into the space that will focus on the rebellion of the people to bring changes to the structures and the systems that they are within. Damn. What? So now we got to go back and look at these other albums. But yeah, like, this is crazy. You do not see charts like this. Like, this is where it's like, this had to have been intentional in so many ways for this to happen. Yeah. And then, yep, there's more. We always look at, so like for this type of project, we're going to look at Mercury, because Mercury is talking about communication. And so how this information and these vibrations are communicated out from this GNX space will be through Mercury. And Mercury is here in Sagittarius with the sun. So the way that all of this will be communicated, and is in a very philosophical way, as a teacher. It's communicating as a teacher. If it was in Gemini, so we know that Kendrick has his sun, and I think he also has Mars, or some other planet is also in Gemini. But if this Mercury was in Gemini, Gemini is the communication of the student. So it would be like student to student conversation. No. This Mercury is here in Sagittarius. So the communication that is coming out of this GNX album is that of the professor, of the teacher, of the philosopher. It is coming in to teach how to be able to use this deep emotion to solidify your philosophy of who you are, and use the spotlight to bring this very strategic analytical perfection to the use of emotions, and to nurture all of those emotions in a way that you can actually see the wounds opening up. And as those wounds are opening up, you're able to step into this energy, this space of rebelling against the structures and the systems that are in place to bring unexpected change. Wow. Thanks, Tiptoe Joe. it's nice to have somebody to say that to, because usually I'd be over here by myself like, wait, what? There's more? More? There's more? And there is more. There is more. You all want some more? Because this chart is jam packed with more. That's why I saved it to the end, because I knew there was so much. Yes. So think about that, Chico. Like, think about how quickly that Mercury is moving. So that shows you the level of intention that at this precise moment, from this precise location, on this precise day, it ensures that all of these planets that are moving at all of these different rates are in the exact placement and alignment for what is needed in the hip hop space. You can't tell me that's not divine. Even if it was all planned out, that's God. But also, if you notice, I just noticed that, like, having Pluto be in Capricorn, um, 2009 is when uh, we consider Kendrick Lamar really coming into the space, into the hip hop space. Yeah. And we have all those discussions about Lawbury coming into that space at the same time. And are you of the system or are you of the rebellion? And now that all came out in 2024 when Pluto was moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. Like, yeah, like, wow, oh, wow. Yeah, so this is a lot. This is a lot. Yes. Yes, Chico. That's my favorite name for him is Lawbury. We won't put energy in any other name. Okay, I gotta show you one more thing. Well, okay, maybe two, but one for sure. So then over here is where we have Uranus, and Uranus is um the planet of unexpected changes, of shaking things up and doing things differently. It usually does sit over here in Aquarius. It's represented by Aquarius. And so uh Uranus here in Taurus, Taurus is the sign of making money and what you value. So with Uranus here, it's doing things differently around what you value. So GNX making all kinds of money, but not valuing the money in the same way is what this is here. So that's cool. Okay. Last thing. Oh, absolutely, Tiptoe. Thank you. Thank you, Tiptoe Joe. You're very welcome. So for the last um week or so, I've been telling you about this grand trine that we have where we have, and this grand trine is in the water. That's where we have Jupiter in retrograde in Cancer, We have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, and we have Neptune and Saturn sitting right next to each other, retrograde, um, in Pisces. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, don't make me cry. And so we've been talking about that, but this GNX album, you can't see it very clearly, but it also has a grand trine. It's right here. Wow, not like that. Let me see if I can draw it better. Okay, there. To here. But this is a grand fire trine. And fire is represented of the spiritual energy. So it is drawing in a large amount of spiritual energy into the space. And it's doing that through its sun, so its mind, how it is philosophizing. I like that. That's funny. How it's being the philosopher and the teacher with its north node, where your north node is all about purpose. So it's life purpose. And through its Mars, which is the actions that you take. So it is drawing in and using a ton of this spiritual energy. That's why, like, you go to the GNX tour, like, even like I haven't been able to go in person, but even just watching it, it is like a spiritual experience, just even watching it. So I can't imagine actually being there. But this is where it's coming from. That this GNX album is drawing in all of this spiritual energy through this fire trine in its chart. It's amazing. This is an amazing chart. Like, there is so much powerful energy coming in through this album. Happy birthday, GNX. Woo-wee. And it's interesting because right now we have the water trine, which is the opposite of fire. So right now at this moment, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough colors. But it's actually like, so it's Pisces to Scorpio to Cancer. So you have both of these trines working together. It's amazing. It's amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Okay, let me catch up. I had to look away because you all were trying to make me cry. So now I gotta look at the chat. Look at the chat again. Oh, thank you, Tiptoe. Like, this has been an amazing experience for me as well. Like, I sat over here and did a lot of this by myself for a very long time because I was like, this is a little too weird to bring to other people. But then God shoved me out there and was like, nope, everybody needs this. Go out there. Okay. So here I am. So I'm so glad that it's working, that I'm able to be the vessel that I was meant to be. Wonderful. Oh, I love that LTFM. That's magical. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take a bow. Thank you. Thank you. In the spirit of Jupiter retrograding in Cancer, learning how to receive, I will receive it all. Thank you. I receive. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, this was amazing. This was amazing to look at this. And it'll be so interesting to see what comes because GNX has just stepped into its 2025 energy. And we saw that it's not even at a peak experience yet. It was drawing from all that 2024 energy and pulling all of that into this space, but it has its own high vibrational experience coming up in 2026. So, something is happening. Something's happening. And we just talked about like the Grammys. So, I don't know. It feels bigger than that. Like we know that GNX and hopefully Clips also will have all of their victories and celebrations with the Grammys. But when it's something vibrational like this, it's bigger than just that. It's bigger than just that one event. It's like the whole year. So it's like from today until this time next year that GNX will be at that vibrational peak of 52. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, you're very welcome, Chico. You're very welcome. Woo wee. Okay. This was a lot, but a lot of fun. Are we ready to spin our wheel? Woo! All right. I'm going to have to go back to this one. I always watch my own lives back at least once because a lot of the time I'm just like I'm like translating the numbers that I'm seeing and giving you the information, but I'm not all the way processing it. So I go back and then I watch it again so I can process it. But this one, what? This one, I might have to watch more than once. Oh, thank you, LTFM. I appreciate that so much. This is, I love this space. It has been such a blessing to me to find all of you all and to be in this space. Okay, I'm not going to cry. Okay, maybe a little bit, but I'll tap into my Capricorn mind and cry with a stone face. Okay, so for anybody that hasn't been here before, so I think Chico, you haven't been here before, but anybody else that hasn't been here before, including my lovely lurkers, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Um, every week, every Saturday, what we do is we spin our random number wheel so that we can get a number or a vibration to be able to watch out for. Because what we're really supposed to be doing, so like all of this is amazing and fun, but what we're really supposed to be doing is learning how to pay attention to the energy and the vibrations that are around us. Because we first have to have awareness of those vibrations and that energy, and then we can begin to use them intentionally. And we need to be able to learn how to use them intentionally so that we can shift into these new vibrational spaces. There is so much coming in not just the shift that we're seeing in hip hop, but the whole earth is shifting vibrationally. And so we needing to prepare for that because there's going to be lots of new ways that we're going to need to be navigating these spaces. So, this is just fun for now, but it's also good practice. So, I talked about 150 before, but we'll talk about it again real quick right now. So last week we spun our random number wheel and we got 150. So Judy, I know, saw a 150, but this really was like God energy. So it could be the number itself, or it could be the themes that are around these vibrations. So this God energy was really bringing in changes, big time changes, because he has this God energy here. So change came in, which then ushered in new energy. Usher, usher. Oh, that was funny. So this God energy supported all the changes that needed to happen to bring in new energy so that we could really examine and have new comfort zones. So that's what we were looking for last week. So now let's spin this wheel. Spin that wheel. All right, let me go find it. Let me find our wheel. And we'll spin our wheel to see what our vibration is for this week. Hello, come on, wheel. Okay, sorry, our wheel was stuck for a second. All right, are we ready? Let's spin our wheel. Here we go. Yay! I love this wheel. I know I say it every week. I love this wheel. 428. So 428 is our vibration for this week that we should be looking out for. So, you want to, so let me write this down for us. So 428, you want to look out for the actual number. It could also be a time. So like 428. So you want to look out for the number or the time or the themes. And whenever you are recognizing that you're seeing this vibration, you want to just either make a mental note or make another note on what you were thinking about, what you were seeing, what was happening around you when this vibration was seen, because that's what's going to build up that muscle of recognizing and interacting with these vibrations. So then the themes of this vibration, let's do, so when we add this up, we get 14, which gives us another 5. So very much we should expect to see change, but when you are noticing the change, the type of change you want to really associate with this vibration is when it's a change that challenges the foundations. So the way things have been done, the things that have been like regular thinkings, like regular normal ways of doing things, any kind of change that is challenging the foundations of things, or even the stability of things, and bringing in new energy. These are the types of changes we want to watch out for this week. And if it's anything like this last week, we'll probably see a lot of them. But also, there's still, again, we're getting some more of this 8 energy, where this 8 energy very much is like the reap what you sow energy, the karma energy, the reciprocity energy. Whenever you are seeing this energy coming back around, especially when it is pointing out or bringing a spotlight to duality or the ending of duality. So all of this discussion of like authenticity, that's this 2 vibration. So if we see like this energy coming back around, so something comes up from the past and it's pointing out that there's duality that is still living here. You're still split between sides. You're not showing us your most authentic self. That's this 28. And then especially if that duality is impacting this foundation again. So we saw some of this in the last week and the last couple weeks, where it was like energy. So things were coming back from the past, and it was like, wait a minute, these are like 2 different people. Who is your most authentic self? Who are you really, truly, authentically? And then it changes the foundation or the stability of who that person was or who the group of people are. So these are the themes of our vibration. So go out into the world, little birds, and flit and fly and interact with these vibrations and enjoy them. And this week, at the end of the week, so for those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving, have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. For those of you that do not, but can take the time to connect and celebrate your families and your loved ones, chosen family is always the best. And that could be your family, your blood family, but that's chosen family, they be different. Have a wonderful week. Make sure that you are enjoying it. This is our last week of Mercury retrograde. Woohoo! So by the time we are back together again, Mercury retrograde will be ending. And I'll check in with you all. But have a wonderful, wonderful week. I love you all very, very much. And I will see you soon. Definitely on Friday. And maybe sooner. We'll see. You're welcome. Thank you. Make sure if you haven't, hit the like button on the way out and send people over to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.